if you're willing to be at the vanguard, deep down the rabbit hole, in the weeds, in DeFi on chain, and go through the work of doing everything on chain, it offers just superior risk-adjusted returns.
So you think that the DeFi infrastructure right now is strong enough, resilient enough to attract real institutional capital?
Yep.
Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another CYPRX video banger. In today's video, we are going to show you all that we are at an inflection point in the crypto digital asset DeFi ecosystem, and you are not going to want to be on the sidelines this next bull market cycle, specifically when it comes to DeFi and yield earning assets. In today's video breakdown, we're going to show you guys why it's so imperative that you all start to educate yourselves in the now on how to earn yield on your digital assets, because these financial institutions are 110% fixated on that. And we're going to show you that in today's video breakdown. So do us a favor, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. Don't forget, if you want to learn anything, don't forget that if you want to start to learn about DeFi, how to get your digital assets working for you, whether it's now or whether it's after the next bull market cycle, so that way you don't have to sell for fiat and get stuck back into the traditional system, head over to CYPRXtrading.com. We have a comprehensive A to Z course teaching you the ins and outs about DeFi, showing you physical step-by-step examples of how we are exposing thousands of dollars in the DeFi space to earn yield on our digital assets in the now. And you guys can learn that again step by step by heading over to CYPRXtrading.com. Hopefully this video breakdown, along with all the others that we've posted on the CYPRX platform, is showing you guys that this is 110% happening, and some perspectives from some industry leading experts in this space discussing and talking about DeFi. So with all of that in mind, let's jump into today's first video clip. Take a second and listen to what this gentleman has to say. I'm going to play 3 video clips back to back to back, and then we will digest and talk about all of them, and then we'll head into the next series of video clips. So just sit back, relax, and take a second and listen to what these individuals have to say about the DeFi space. They're going to be talking about how we are at an inflection point. Every person on the planet is going to be utilizing DeFi, which is massive considering the fact that the DeFi ecosystem sits right now at around $80 to $90 billion. Right now, the total cryptocurrency market cap is projected to reach $10 trillion by 2027. The DeFi ecosystem alone is projected to reach $600+ billion by 2027, ladies and gentlemen. And I just told you all it's sitting at $80 to $90 billion, which you can go over to DeFi Llama and check that statistic yourself. There's so much room for exponential growth in the DeFi ecosystem. It is one niche in crypto that you are not going to want to sit sidelined on. And then last but not least, we're going to play a video clip of an individual representative on stage mentioning lending and borrowing are about the scale. And that is going to go hand in hand with what a institutional representative said about smart money not leaving DeFi on the table this next bull market cycle. So let's take a second and let's listen to what these individuals have to say.
I think there's a lot of catalysts coming up in the fall with the U.S. elections. Stani's been tweeting about a DeFi renaissance. So I'm curious what you guys are looking for in the next couple months for the rest of the year in terms of the market, and how is this cycle different from the others?
So I think that what I think of when Stani is talking about DeFi renaissance, I think of it as like there's a it's a DeFi inflection point that is coming, and it's a DeFi inflection point that is coming, and
arguably also product market fit. So things that actually work on chain is decentralized finance. And what I kind of see is what is happening now as well is that we see a lot of fundamentals in the space. And what I mean by fundamentals is that we first time ever actually have now essentially decentralized financial infrastructure that is available to anyone. It's resilient, and the last point is that it's also it's also profitable. So we have these decentralized organizations like for example Sky and Synthetics and Avidao, where these are open communities where people make decisions, choices, and actually these public goods make revenue. and that revenue is then streamlined back to the users in terms of different types of rewards and to grow and expand these public goods more further. And I think this is a really fascinating phenomena to follow and build upon, because DeFi is not about just creating financial opportunities that are based on distribution of governance power or like community membership, but it's about actually creating something really valuable that can be applicable to every single person on the planet. And
he literally just mentioned every single person in the planet. And I've shown you guys in previous video breakdowns that DeFi is going to become the new normal. Earning yield on your digital assets is going to be something that probably I'd say about 80 to 90% of individual participants in the crypto space do, or in the digital world in the future do, with their digital assets in the future. So why not get educated on it in the now? You don't have to deploy into the DeFi ecosystem, but at least learn how to start earning on your digital assets, so that way you can start to, when you are comfortable, when the regulations are firmly implemented. And I'm going to show you in today's video breakdown that they are saying that the DeFi space right now can handle financial institutions. We'll get to that video breakdown in just 1 second. So the next video clip I want to play for you guys is where they mention lending and borrowing is about the scale. And that's going to set the precipice for the next series of video clips that we're going to play, where these financial institutions mention that smart money is not going to leave the option of lending and borrowing and DeFi and earning yield on your digital assets on the table this next bull market cycle. So take a second here and listen to what they have to say.
And innovation is a very core piece of what we are doing at Aave. And now we're focusing on the Aave V4, and which is going to be more efficient infrastructure for all types of lending and borrowing. And the reason to actually make more efficient infrastructure is that the whole lending and borrowing landscape will change a little bit. Will not change, but it will expand. So there's going to be different types of value coming on chain, from RWAs to all different kinds of initiatives. And we want to prepare Aave to be a backbone of all of that type of lending and borrowing. So
right. So we'll stop right there. He just mentioned that lending and borrowing is about to expand exponentially, right? You heard the gentleman at the beginning mention that we are at an inflection point. Okay. I'm telling you guys right now, you do not want to be sidelined this next bull market cycle when it comes to DeFi, whether that's you're earning in the now to grow and expand your wealth by earning yield on your digital assets, or whether that's after the next bull market cycle, you learn how to sell for stable coins that then can earn you yield instead of like, okay, let's just, again, I've covered this in previous video breakdowns, but let's take two participants, okay? They both have, I don't know, let's use XRP as an example. They both have 100,000 units of XRP, and XRP goes to $10. They make $1 million, right? Okay, one person sells for fiat. They sell for United States dollars. They sell their XRP into fiat. They put it in their bank account, okay? They have $1 million in their bank account. The second individual sells $500,000 of XRP, not units of XRP, $500,000 of XRP, but they sell it into a USDC stablecoin. They take that USDC stablecoin, $500,000 worth, and they deploy it on a DeFi platform that is earning them anywhere between 10 to 20% on that stablecoin. You do the math on APR or APY, 10 to 20% on $500,000. I didn't even say the second person sold all $1 million. The person that sold $500,000 into USDC stablecoin and is earning 10 to 20% yield is going to make so much more money this next bull market cycle than the person that sells for $1 million into cash fiat currency and puts it in their bank account. You understand that? That is, I mean, it's life-changing wealth. Now imagine if you sold all $1 million into USDC stablecoin that's earning 10 to 20%. Okay. 20% on $1 million per year is $200,000 per year passive income, people, off of stable coins. And you can do that right now through DeFi. People are doing that right now through DeFi. It's all trackable on DeFi Llama. You can go see this stuff yourself. You can go see how much money is deployed right now in the DeFi ecosystem, in these pools, on these platforms. So the growth here is so monumental that I don't think people really truly understand. And it's going to be really sad to see a lot of people lose their wealth this next bull market cycle once the transfer has happened, because they don't understand how to manage their money properly in the digital realm of things. This is a new age. If you're not willing to step into a zone where you're uncomfortable and learn something new, you're not going to survive in this digital transformation. You need to learn a digital skill. You need to learn how to create more money for yourself by nothing with a Wi-Fi connection and a mobile device or a computer. All right. I'm telling you guys right now, the people, and I've used this example in previous video breakdowns. If you're new here and all this sounds like gibberish to you, again, stick around or watch some of the previous CYPRX video breakdowns. But if you've been here for some time, we've played video clips of reputable individuals in the regulatory space right now stating that an individual from Africa in the lowest income earning area with nothing but a mobile phone and an internet connection has the same connectivity to the new financial system and to earn yield on their digital assets, the same digital assets that somebody in Malibu, California, one of the most expensive places on this earth, has. That is life-changing. And if you don't understand that, again, the people that are poor and low income earning areas, they are going to take advantage of these DeFi ecosystems, these protocols, these lending borrowing platforms that are going to allow them to scale. Why would you not do the same? Okay. So anyways, I'm done my rant. I'm so passionate about this stuff because it has changed my life exponentially. It has literally 5x'd my bags in the now since pretty much the beginning of this year. Everybody's been waiting around for this bull market cycle since the beginning of this year. And it's so sad to see people just waiting around in high hopes for price appreciation in their digital assets when this entire year, looking back, they could have been making passive income, earning yield on the same digital assets that they're still holding to this day. I don't want to see any of my followers get wrecked. Obviously, of course, you need to take a mature approach. You need to understand your risk tolerance and you need to understand the DeFi strategy in which you want to partake in. There's a more hands-on approach. There's a more hands-off approach. But again, we cover all that information in the CYPRX Wealth 28 Club to help individuals see that there's different strategies, there's different approaches to the DeFi markets, there's different platforms. It's a whole new world. It's almost as if you're coming into a brand new space in crypto, which it is. I'm done with that rant. Let's get into these video clips. I have 4 video clips I want to play for you guys. 1, confirming financial institutions want yield. 2, they mentioned that DeFi will be regulated in such a way that financial institutions will be able to onboard, which will give you guys confidence backing what it is that I'm saying, that financial institutions will be coming into DeFi. Then they mentioned that the current infrastructure in DeFi can support institutions, which is a phenomenal thing to hear. And then last but not least, the guy mentions that banks will not leave lending and borrowing on the table. These smart money individuals will not leave lending and borrowing on the table. And if we remember what the gentleman said just a second ago, that lending and borrowing is about to expand exponentially and that we are at an inflection point, it's all going to full circle and make sense to you guys here. Take a second and let's listen to what these individuals have to say.
We all know Bitcoin is king. Institutions, maybe they're buying Bitcoin. Is that really institutional adoption of crypto? I think you could argue either way. Obviously, most of the primitives seem to be being built predominantly on Ethereum. Ryan, I know that most of the work that you've done in the past has been on Ethereum. You're maybe moving into Bitcoin. How do you see all of that developing?
Yeah. So, it's interesting that we're seeing that the ETH ETF is not getting quite the traction that we expected. And people would, at a first glance, say, well, that just means it's not as attractive to institutions. That's not really the case. Institutions are smart money. They'll go to where the yield and the returns are. And institutions are deciding to go on chain and pursue that staking rate or more compelling yielding rates that are natively available in Ethereum and other ecosystems.
When we talk about institutional adoption, we have centralized infrastructure and decentralized infrastructure. I think maybe another dirty secret is that the DeFi ecosystem is actually really small. And a lot of institutional adoption happens through real centralized infrastructure. John, what do you think about this?
So I think a lot of the risk controls are better in place today in centralized infrastructure. And so institutions naturally gravitate towards where risk is theoretically lower. I think the DeFi ecosystem has the capability to embed all of the regulatory compliance, institutional requirements, but it hasn't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
Things like KYC, AML, transaction monitoring. That's beginning to happen now. And I think on-chain identity is helping move that forward. But I think there's actually structural benefits to decentralized infrastructure, namely around liquidity provisioning, where retail can effectively provide liquidity and earn trading fees rather than centralized institutions. So in the long run, DeFi kind of allows you to eliminate the Citadel Securities and NYSE rent takers of the world and to pass that yield back to the actual holders of the underlying asset. So I think
What he's talking about, by the way, is providing liquidity to a liquidity pool. You can become a liquidity provider with your digital assets, right?
Namely around liquidity provisioning, where retail can effectively provide liquidity and earn trading fees rather than centralized institutions.
And you can do this utilizing stablecoins. I myself right now, I'm not going to disclose to you guys publicly. I disclose this to the private CYPRX Wealth 28 Club, but I have a large amount of money sitting in stablecoin liquidity pools that are earning me right now anywhere between 17 to 24% APR on my position, right? And it's earning me passive income by providing liquidity to these liquidity pools. You heard, you don't have to go through, or centralized exchanges are usually the ones that are providing liquidity for these trading pairs. Okay. You now can take your digital assets, you can go and provide liquidity, and you can earn rewards, you can earn fees, trading fees. Whenever somebody swaps USDT for USDC, it makes that trade because you're providing liquidity for that pair, you can earn those fees. All right. Now we cover all of this in the Wealth 28 Club. Again, it's just another approach that you can take to DeFi. There's so many. You can lend, borrow, stake, liquid staking. I mean, I'm not going to get into all that again. That's why we created a Wealth 28 Club course for you guys with literally well over 100 video breakdowns explaining all of this stuff to you, exactly what this gentleman is talking about on stage.
That mechanism is actually more favorable to the investor, but it just has to catch up from an institutionalization perspective to have the controls and have the risk procedures in place to be able to take that capital.
Demo, what do you think?
Yeah. I think like in the last few years, we spent like time in DeFi in sort of called like MVP phase, where we had like a lot of products which ABV sec blocker, how we can structure like through the stage of like long terms in general.
There is the ability to have better risk controls, more transparency. There,
When Ryan, good.
yeah, I would
Of like smart contract chains and platforms in general.
Nick, when Ryan, good.
Yeah, I would just take the other side here and say that today there is the ability to have better risk controls, more transparency, and better execution on chain than what we see in centralized infrastructure. The problems that the space has been ostracized for over the years, FTX going back to Mt. Gox, those aren't crypto problems. Those are just corporate frauds. Crypto solves those problems, right? And so if you're willing to be at the vanguard, deep down the rabbit hole, in the weeds, in DeFi, on chain, and go through the work of doing everything on chain, it offers just superior risk-adjusted returns.
So you think that the DeFi infrastructure right now is strong enough, resilient enough to attract real institutional capital?
Yep. Yep.
Boom. This is from a month ago and only has 373 views. Shout out to the CYPRX research team for dropping this one in the chat. Okay. So last but not least, I'm going to play this video clip. Remember what the gentleman said about lending and borrowing expanding at a rapid pace. We're at an inflection point. You just heard that the DeFi ecosystem is ready to handle financial institutions. Okay. They are coming. They're going to start searching for yield, especially considering that over the next consecutive couple of months / years, we're going to head back into a lower interest rate environment. Okay. It's going to grow so exponentially. This is the last video clip I'm going to play for you guys. I'm going to leave you with this.
Fundamental improvement in market structure for those types of products once people are ready.
Yeah, I mean, like I would love to be able to take some LP stakes in a variety of funds that I have and use that as collateral to take out a variety of loans. Right now, you can't really do that. I mean, that to me has always been one of the North Stars for this.
And I think you look at a market that's north of 10 trillion of assets. It's all paper.
Yeah.
There's really no digitization, blockchain or otherwise. And so I think it's only a matter of time until you can perform those other functions, lend, borrow, provide liquidity to facilitate trading, these types of things, which also enhance your returns.
Yeah.
Right. So by making it composable, now you can actually boost your return on top in a fundamental way.
Yeah.
And so I don't think, smart money is going to leave that on the table once they understand the mechanics.
Yeah.
He doesn't think smart money is going to leave that option on the table, lending, borrowing, so on and so forth on the table when they understand the mechanics. I cannot stress enough, ladies and gentlemen, now is the time to head over to the CYPRX website, get educated so that way you understand what is about to happen. People think that these financial institutions are just going to buy up these digital assets. That is going to be one small portion of what is about to happen over the next consecutive couple of years. These financial institutions are yield generating platforms. They like to generate yield. And DeFi presents that opportunity at a much more rapid pace than traditional finance, than centralized finance. Now's the time to study that. Now's the time to understand what it is that any of these panelists are talking about. And we've created literally a curated course for you guys in order to do that. So you don't have to search the web. You don't have to go and spend hours upon hour, literally hundreds of hours doing the research yourself. We've curated all that research for you guys. Come join the team. We'd love to have you in the Wealth 28 Club. With that being said, none of this is financial advice. Always take into consideration your own personal risk tolerance. Understand that in order to scale and grow in DeFi, you need to take a mature, realistic approach. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. And with all of that in mind, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video breakdown. If you did, give it a thumbs up. It does help boost that algorithm, believe it or not. I get tired of saying it. I know you probably get tired of hearing it, but it truly does help this platform grow. And do me a favor and subscribe as well. We really do appreciate the love and the support here at CYPRX. And I will see you all in the next video breakdown.